Hi guys. So I've decided this is going to be the last video in this series of videos for the team plan, and I'm going to release this out. I'm going to start working on getting this out to you, and then while that's happening, I will start slowly going through the individual player one. And so if you go through all these videos and you use the data set that's included and you develop this, even if you change the data set around, but you know the framework and you've built it within this file, I'm going to continue to work within this file and the framework will connect pretty much the team plan to the player plan. So just know that moving forward, if that's something that you want to do. And and yeah, I can't really thank you enough for sticking out all these videos. I know it's hard. It's hard for me too. It's Excel's not easy. I have to look things up all the time. I'm not special. I don't remember all these formulas all the time. So with that being said, I just want to clean up a couple things and then we'll get you on your way. The only thing that I want to go over right now is, well, first of all, I'm noticing this now, and this happens to me all the time. I don't care about the injury statuses here, so I'm just removing them. But I'm going to freeze panes because I think that that's beneficial, and a lot of people don't really understand how to do that. So there are a couple ways to do it. So when I say freeze panes, I mean when I scroll down, for example, in this context, when I scroll down, I want the averages to stay on the top, and I want the graphs to stay on the top, so that when I'm looking at the players, I can see the averages still. And similarly, if I open this up and I'm scrolling left to right, I want the filters to still be there so that I can use them. And I also want to see the player name so that, let's say I'm scrolling all the way to the right. Well, I don't know what player I'm on anymore. So we're going to freeze panes, and I'm going to do it in a couple different ways. The first way is just the standard way to do it is like if I select this row and I were to freeze the top. And let me just see how we do this. So if I go to the data, nope, wrong. View, yep. So here's freeze panes. And you can freeze the top row, the first column, but that's not what I want. I don't want either of those. If I froze the top row, I just freeze row 1, and that's not very beneficial for me at least. So the other way to do it is I've selected row 16. And when I go to freeze panes, what it's going to do is it's going to freeze everything above the row that I selected. So I'm going to go freeze panes. And you'll notice this little gray line kind of running across the entire sheet. And if I scroll down, you'll notice that it kind of stays, that whole area stays where it is. And now I'm going to unfreeze. And now I can scroll all willy-nilly here. So the reason why I would freeze panes here is because we've done some things that allow us, if we don't want to see the averages and the graphs, we can navigate through that. So let's say I'm scrolling down and I don't want to see that stuff. I mean, we can do that pretty easily. And then at the very least, we have the titles of all of our fields. Like let's say this is a wide thing. As we scroll down, we have the titles of our fields, which is helpful. So that's that, but we're not going to freeze that way. The other way to do it is I want columns and rows frozen. And you'll notice that here there's just one freeze panes. So you kind of got to know what you're doing. There's not a freeze columns and freeze rows, kind of like there's freeze top row and freeze first column. So what you do is you pick the cell that is underneath the last row that you want to freeze and to the right of the last column that you want to freeze. So in this instance, I guess we'll have to make a decision here. I might click this cell, or this one, or this one, depending on what I want to see. So for me, I'm going to pick this one because when I scroll to the right and left, I want the names to show up. And this is to the right of the names. And when I scroll up and down, I want everything above row 16 to show up. So I'm going to select this cell, go freeze panes, And now you're going to see two lines. One line going horizontally, one line going vertically. If I scroll down, it'll stay. And if I go left to right, let's just expand this. So now we can still see the names associated. The names don't move as we scroll left and right. And that's all I got. So again, thank you. And I'll clean up this file a little bit. Like for example, this doesn't look very nice. This again could look better. I'll make it more understandable for you. So I guess I just want to say thank you again. And you guys should all, I mean, you should be really proud of yourselves. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's not easy stuff. Anything that you kind of go into and start learning a lot about and are unfamiliar with, it's very difficult. And I commend you for going through this stuff. Great work. And hopefully I'll see you in the next series of videos that we have here.